Ever feel like there's more to this whole life thing than meets the eye?
Like maybe death isn't the end.
Yeah.
Just the beginning of a really wild after party.
Exactly.
Today, we're joining the Cosmic Conga line with Richard Martini,
Ooh, I like that.
who's spent decades interviewing people about their experiences with the afterlife.
And what makes Martini's work so captivating is that he doesn't fit that, like, stereotypical mystic mold.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
he was a skeptic,
Totally.
a football player, even
No.
who only dove into this world after a series of personal experiences that he couldn't ignore,
Yeah.
starting with the death of his close friend Luana.
It's like that saying,
Yeah.
skepticism is just a waiting room for the truly mind-blowing.
Yes. And Luana's passing became like his catalyst.
Yeah.
He claims she started communicating with him,
Right.
becoming his link to this whole other dimension of existence.
Like when Neo takes the red pill in The Matrix.
Whoa.
Suddenly, Martini's reality expanded.
Talk about a plot twist. So what did Luana reveal about this expanded reality? Did she mention anything about classrooms and other universes?
She did. Before her death, Luana described having these recurring dreams about being in a classroom,
Okay.
all dressed in white, discussing spiritual topics.
Interesting.
Think less high school detention and more transcendental seminar,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
This dream sparked a huge question for Martini.
Yeah.
Are these afterlife classrooms a real thing?
Right.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Martini discovered that Luana's friend in Hawaii had mentioned seeing her in another dimension the night before she passed.
Okay, that's giving me goosebumps.
Right.
It's like the universe was dropping breadcrumbs leading him down this rabbit hole.
You said it. These breadcrumbs, along with research he'd been doing on the work of Dr. Michael Newton and his book, Journey of Souls,
Wow.
really convinced him there was more to life after death than met the eye.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Newton dedicated an entire chapter to these afterlife classrooms, mirroring Luana's dream.
It's like finding out your favorite fictional book has a real-life counterpart.
Right.
Did Martini experience any of this firsthand?
He did,
Okay.
but it wasn't always a smooth ride.
Right.
He described the experience as being thrown into a pool,
Okay.
initially flailing, but eventually finding his stroke thanks to guidance from Luana and another friend, Jennifer,
Okay.
who was also helping him connect with those who'd passed.
Okay.
As he went deeper, he noticed recurring themes in what people reported, almost
Yeah.
like uncovering secret levels in a video game.
I'm picturing those bonus levels you unlock in Super Mario Bros.
Yes.
So what kinds of levels was he uncovering?
People consistently described encounters with guides, teachers,
Yeah.
even classmates.
Wow.
A complex support system on the other side,
Yeah.
like a cosmic welcome wagon.
I love it.
They also described these incredible life reviews,
Yeah.
where they revisited key moments from their past lives and planned future incarnations.
It's like graduating to a cosmic university where your soul gets to choose its major.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
What were some of the common threads he noticed within these support systems?
A key figure was often a spiritual coordinator,
Okay.
someone managing the connections between this world and the next.
Like a cosmic air traffic controller,
Exactly.
making sure the lines of communication stay open.
Yeah,
So Luana transitioned from friend to cosmic coordinator.
precisely. Think of her as the ultimate stage manager for Martini's afterlife interviews.
I love that.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
Martini claims even Tom Petty showed up in one of his sessions,
Wow.
waiting in line to communicate alongside other souls.
No way.
Even in the afterlife, there are queues, apparently.
You'd think they'd have a VIP section set up by now, wouldn't you?
You'd think.
Right.
But jokes aside,
Yeah.
Martini emphasizes that it's not all about these celebrity cameos.
Right.
Anyone can communicate with loved ones.
Yeah.
It's about being open and receptive. Think of it like becoming a spiritual radio operator,
Wow.
tuning into a different frequency.
Right.
Martini even had a dream where he was given a telegraph key,
Wow.
symbolizing our ability to send and receive messages from the other side.
It's giving Morse code, but make it spiritual.
There you go.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So how do we start deciphering these messages? Do we need a crash course in cosmic code breaking?
It's not about complex codes,
Okay.
but recognizing patterns and trusting your intuition.
Okay.
Think of it like learning a new language.
Right.
At first, it's a jumble, but the more you immerse yourself,
Right.
the clearer it becomes.
Yeah.
Pay attention to those aha moments.
Right.
Sudden insights.
Yeah.
Familiar songs popping up out of nowhere.
Yes.
Those might be messages.
Okay.
Even a chill down your spine could be a sign.
It's about recognizing those, wait a minute, moments.
Exactly.
Like, is that my imagination or is Grandma sending me a sign through this butterfly?
Exactly. Martini calls these vibrations from the afterlife, and they manifest in countless ways.
Wow.
It's about tuning in, becoming aware of the subtle ways our loved ones might be reaching out.
So instead of waiting for a grand cosmic text message, we're learning to recognize the whispers.
I like that.
And sometimes those whispers involve music, believe it or not.
Okay.
In fact, Jimi Hendrix is a recurring figure in Martini's work,
Oh, wow.
often showing up to help souls transition to the afterlife.
Now that's what I call a rock and roll afterlife.
Right?
Was Hendrix close to these people during their lives?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
Many who describe meeting Hendrix after crossing over had no prior connection to him.
Interesting.
They describe him as instantly recognizable, comforting,
Yeah.
offering a soft landing into the afterlife.
Right.
It's as if he's become a cosmic greeter welcoming souls with a killer guitar riff.
Imagine that your first experience on the other side is jamming with Jimi Hendrix. Must be one heck of a welcome party.
I know, right?
Yes.
Speaking of memorable encounters, Martini's session with Janis Joplin really highlights the idea that our personalities persist after death.
It's remarkable how clearly Janis's spirit came through during that session.
Yeah.
Her personality was unmistakable.
So even in the afterlife, Janis is still the queen of rock and roll.
Absolutely.
And speaking of rock and roll royalty, Martini's conversation with Elvis Presley brought up some insightful points about unresolved emotions.
It did.
This is where things get really interesting. What did Elvis have to say from beyond the grave? So what did Elvis have to say from beyond the grave?
Get this. Elvis shared that when he crossed over, he was greeted by his mother,
Okay.
which makes sense given their bond.
Right.
But the second figure was unexpected, a child he'd never met,
Oh, wow.
a pregnancy that didn't come to term.
Wow, talk about a heartbreaker. It's both tragic and hopeful at the same time.
Exactly. Tragic because it highlights a loss Elvis carried with him.
Right.
But hopeful because it suggests that in the afterlife,
Yeah.
there's a potential for healing and closure.
Right.
Even for things left unresolved in our physical lives.
Yeah.
Like a cosmic second chance.
It makes you wonder what other kinds of healing or resolutions might be possible on the other side.
Martini's work explores those possibilities extensively.
Wow.
He suggests the afterlife isn't about punishment or reward,
Right.
but growth healing and continuing the journey on a different plane.
That really shifts the perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's not about reaching some final destination, but about constantly evolving.
precisely. And Martini stresses that anyone can tap into this expanded reality.
Okay.
You don't need to be a rock star or spiritual guru, just open to the possibility.
It's like that line from Almost Famous. It's all happening. Life, death, the afterlife. It's all connected just on different frequencies.
Yeah.
But if we're all capable of tuning in, why don't more people experience these connections?
Martini believes we have mental filters
Okay.
that prevent us from accessing certain realms of consciousness.
Okay.
Think of it like those noise-canceling headphones.
Oh.
They block out the distractions so you can focus on a specific sound.
Right.
Our brains do something similar,
Yeah.
filtering out subtle energies and information that might be too overwhelming for our everyday reality.
So how do we ditch the noise-canceling headphones of our minds and tune into those subtler frequencies?
Martini suggests those filters can be weakened or bypassed through things like meditation,
Yeah.
hypnotherapy, even near-death experiences.
Right.
Remember those stories of people seeing deceased loved ones during intense medical emergencies?
Right.
It's like those experiences temporarily lift the veil,
Yeah.
allowing for those connections to occur.
Fascinating. So it's not about developing supernatural powers, but tapping into something that's already within us, just hidden beneath the surface.
Exactly. And Martini's work encourages us to explore those hidden depths, to be open to the mysteries of life and death,
Right.
and embrace the possibility of something more.
It's about recognizing that our current understanding of reality might be just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Precisely. There's a whole universe of possibilities waiting to be discovered,
Right.
but we have to be willing to look beyond the surface.
Martini often talks about the importance of recognizing our soul's purpose,
Yes.
our reason for being here in this particular lifetime.
He's a firm believer that we're not here by accident, that we each have a unique mission to fulfill.
That's a powerful concept. It's not just about drifting through life, but living with intention purpose.
Right.
But how do we figure out what that purpose is?
Yeah.
It's not like we get handed a cosmic to-do list at birth.
True. Martini suggests the answers often lie within our passions.
Okay.
Those things that light us up,
Yeah.
make us feel truly alive.
Okay.
It's about paying attention to those sparks of joy and recognizing them as clues to our soul's calling.
It's about finding that sweet spot where our passions intersect with the needs of the world, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. But it's not always easy to identify those passions, especially when life gets in the way.
Right.
What about those who feel lost, unsure of their purpose?
That's where Martini's work gets really interesting. He talks about these council members on the other side who help us plan our lives,
Right.
almost like spiritual advisors, helping us choose our soul's curriculum.
It's like having a team of cosmic guidance counselors, but instead of helping you pick your high school electives,
Right.
they're helping you choose the lessons and experiences your soul needs to evolve.
That's a comforting thought,
Yeah.
knowing that we have this incredible support system, even if we don't always consciously remember making those soul contracts.
And these council members aren't always who you might expect. Martini has even encountered some who are described as extraterrestrial.
Wait, extraterrestrial?
Yes.
Like not from this planet. Now that's taking things to a whole new level.
And it does, but it speaks to the vastness of this interconnected universe that Martini describes.
Yeah.
A universe where consciousness transcends our limited human understanding of life and death.
Wow.
Right?
So we've got rock stars, council members, and maybe even some friendly extraterrestrials hanging out in the afterlife. Sounds like a wild party.
Right.
But what about those who are skeptical of all this?
Martini encountered his fair share of skeptics, and one of the most compelling stories involves the actor Harry Dean Stanton.
Oh?
Stanton was a self-proclaimed atheist his entire life, even bragging about how he'd come back to haunt people
Right.
if there actually was an afterlife.
Right.
Right.
That's pretty bold. So did he make good on his promise? Did he make contact?
That's just it. A week after Stanton's passing, Martini says he appeared in a session.
Oh, wow.
According to Martini, Stanton described his transition as being surprisingly pleasant.
That's unexpected. How did a staunch atheist like Stanton describe the experience?
He found himself on a road trip, a nostalgic replay of a journey he took back in 1967
Okay.
with two people close to him, Luana Martini's friend,
Right.
and a film producer named Fred Roos.
So far, sounds like a pretty peaceful way to transition.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Here's where it gets interesting. As they're cruising along, they get a flat tire.
Okay.
Stanton remembers this detail never happened on the actual road trip.
Wait, so it was like a glitch in the Matrix?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He points out the discrepancy to Luana and Fred,
Yeah.
and their response is simply, "We know."
Wow.
That's when it clicked for Stanton.
Yeah.
He was no longer bound by the rules of the physical world.
Talk about a subtle but powerful wake-up call.
Right.
I'm guessing this experience shifted his perspective a bit.
You could say that. When Martini asked him what message he wanted to share at his memorial,
Right.
Stanton's response was surprising.
Yeah.
Tell them to believe in the afterlife.
Wow, quite a 180 from his previous stance.
It just goes to show sometimes it takes a personal experience to shift even the most deeply held beliefs.
Right.
And when Martini pointed out that many of Stanton's friends were also atheists,
Right.
Stanton simply said, then tell them to believe in the possibility.
That feels like the heart of Martini's message.
Yeah.
It's not about blindly accepting everything,
Right.
but remaining open to the possibility that there's more to life and death than we realize. Speaking of embracing the possibility, Martini had this fascinating encounter with another late actor, Charles Grodin.
Oh, yes. Grodin was known for his sharp wit and humor.
Right.
So it's no surprise that his afterlife experience had a comedic twist.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What did Grodin have to say from beyond the veil? Okay, I'm intrigued. What did Grodin have to say from beyond the veil?
Grodin described his transition as feeling like he was on a talk show similar to The Tonight Show, which he'd appeared on many times during his career.
That's so fitting for Grodin. He always had a knack for conversation and storytelling. Did he mention who was in the audience?
He did. He noticed Johnny Carson in the audience, which made sense considering their history. But when Martini asked who the guest host was, Grodin's answer was unexpected: Jimi Hendrix.
Wait, Jimi Hendrix? As in the legendary guitarist. Now, that's a pairing I wouldn't have seen coming.
It's certainly a twist, and what's even more intriguing is that Grodin and Hendrix had never met during their lifetimes.
So it's not just about reuniting with those we knew in life, but encountering souls we might have missed the chance to connect with. It's like a cosmic mixer where the guest list is full of surprises.
Exactly. It speaks to the idea that the afterlife is a dynamic and evolving realm full of unexpected encounters and opportunities for growth and connection.
Grodin also shared a detail that sheds light on the nature of perception in the afterlife. He noticed the talk show set looked strikingly similar to the one he was familiar with from The Tonight Show. But there was one key difference.
Oh, I remember this. There was a distinct lack of ashtrays, which Grodin found hilarious considering how prevalent smoking was on television during his era.
It's like the afterlife got the memo about the health risks of smoking before we did. It makes you wonder how our earthly experiences might shape our perceptions of the afterlife.
Martini delves into that concept extensively, suggesting that our beliefs, expectations, and even our cultural backgrounds can influence how we experience the afterlife.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all experience. Our individual journeys continue to unfold on the other side, shaped by who we were and what we believed during our physical lives.
Precisely. And those journeys often involve revisiting our past lives to gain a deeper understanding of our soul's evolution.
Okay, let's talk about past lives. Still trying to wrap my head around this whole concept. Does Martini believe we all have past lives, or is he just a select few?
He believes we've all lived multiple lives, but most of us don't consciously remember them. He suggests it's often a form of protection, a way to prevent us from being overwhelmed by past experiences and to allow us to fully engage with the lessons of our current lifetime.
It's like those amnesia storylines in movies. There's a reason why the protagonist can't remember their past. It's all about uncovering those memories at the right time for maximum dramatic effect.
Exactly. And just like in those movies, sometimes those past life memories hold the key to unlocking a mystery or resolving a conflict in the present.
So how do these past life memories resurface? Is it like spontaneous flashbacks, or are there specific triggers?
Martini has found that these memories often emerge during hypnotherapy sessions. He believes hypnosis can help us access the subconscious mind where those past life memories are stored.
So it's like hitting the rewind button on our soul's journey, accessing those forgotten chapters to gain a deeper understanding of who we are and why we're here. Have you ever tried hypnotherapy?
I have, and it was a fascinating experience. I wouldn't say I had any major past life regressions, but it did bring up some interesting imagery and emotions that resonated deeply with me.
It's like those moments when a song or a smell triggers a vivid memory you didn't even know you had. It's a reminder that there's so much more to us than what we're consciously aware of.
Martini's work certainly highlights that. It's about recognizing that we're multidimensional beings with a rich history that extends far beyond this current lifetime.
And those past lives aren't just random events. They're all interconnected, weaving together to form the intricate tapestry of our soul's journey. It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
It is. But it's also incredibly exciting. It suggests that we're not just passive players in some predetermined cosmic drama. We're active participants co-creating our reality with each choice we make, each lifetime we embark on.
That's a powerful and empowering message. It means we have more agency than we realize.
Exactly. And that agency doesn't end with death. Martini believes we continue to make choices and influence our experiences, even from the other side.
It makes you wonder what other possibilities might exist beyond the veil. What other mysteries are waiting to be unraveled?
That's the beauty of Martini's work. It opens up more questions than it answers, inviting us to approach the mysteries of life and death with a sense of wonder and curiosity.
He's like a cosmic detective, encouraging us to put on our metaphorical magnifying glasses and examine the clues that are all around us.
And those clues can lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves, our loved ones, and the interconnected nature of all things.
It's a journey worth taking, even if it takes us outside of our comfort zones and challenges our deeply held beliefs.
Absolutely. And as we delve deeper into these mysteries, it's important to remember that we're not alone. We have a support system, both here and on the other side, cheering us on and guiding us every step of the way.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the work of Richard Martini. His research offers a fresh perspective on life-death, and everything in between, encouraging us to embrace the possibility of something more.
Remember, stay curious, stay open-minded, and keep exploring. There's a whole universe of wonders waiting to be discovered.